Picture this. You wake up tomorrow, and every single law, every rule, every moral code you've ever lived by suddenly vanishes. No commandments, no golden rules, no right and wrong written in the sky. No one telling you what success means, what love should look like, what makes a life worth living. Just complete, deafening silence. Terrifying, right? Now here's the shocker. That's exactly the world Friedrich Nietzsche said we already live in. And 150 years ago, he declared it with 3 words that shook philosophy to its core. God is dead. Most people completely misunderstand this line. They think Nietzsche was just being edgy, some atheist celebrating religion's downfall. Dead wrong. Nietzsche wasn't celebrating the death of God. He was sounding the alarm. He was warning us about the most dangerous crisis humanity would ever face. Because what he really meant was this: the foundations of our morality, our meaning, our entire sense of cosmic order, everything that held Western civilization together for 2,000 years, was collapsing. And he saw what was coming next. A crisis of meaning so deep, it would shake the very core of human existence. A culture without direction. A humanity drifting into the abyss of nihilism. Sound familiar? Here's the brutal truth Nietzsche saw that no one wanted to admit. We didn't kill God in some epic cosmic battle. We killed him quietly, gradually, in our own hearts and minds. Science advanced and explained away miracles. Darwin showed us we evolved from animals, not divine breath. Technology made us feel like gods ourselves. Traditions crumbled under the weight of modernity. Ancient beliefs lost their grip on educated minds. And suddenly, the grand story we've been living by for centuries, the story of divine order, divine justice, divine purpose watching over us, collapsed under its own weight like a house of cards. But here's where it gets deeper. Nietzsche wasn't just talking about losing belief in a bearded man in the sky. God is dead is bigger than any single religion. It means the death of absolute certainty itself. The death of ready-made answers handed down from on high. The death of an external, ultimate authority telling us what's right, what's wrong, what makes life meaningful. Think about it. For most of human history, people didn't have to create their own meaning. It was given to them. Your role in society, predetermined. Your moral code, written in stone. Your purpose, serve God, serve the king, follow the rules, don't ask questions. But modernity shattered all of that. Suddenly, we were free. Terrifyingly, completely free. So why does this matter for you, right now in 2025? Because when those absolutes vanish, most people don't celebrate their freedom. They collapse with the very foundations that once supported them. They become what Nietzsche called the last men. Comfortable, safe, pleasure-chasing, but spiritually dead inside. Look around you. You see them everywhere. They scroll endlessly through feeds, seeking the next hit of dopamine. They chase comfort above all else, avoiding any real challenge or suffering. They live for the weekend, for the next vacation, for retirement. They work jobs they hate to buy things they don't need to impress people they don't like. They live small, shallow, borrowed lives, following scripts written by advertisers, influencers, and cultural trends. Nietzsche saw it coming like a prophet of doom. He said, when God dies, the real danger isn't freedom, it's nihilism. The soul-crushing realization that maybe nothing actually matters. That life has no inherent meaning, that we're just cosmic accidents spinning on a rock through empty space. And when we die, we simply cease to exist. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You see nihilism's fingerprints everywhere in modern society. Depression rates skyrocketing among young people who have everything but feel empty inside. Addiction epidemics as people desperately try to fill the void. A culture obsessed with distraction. Netflix, social media, gaming, shopping. Anything to avoid confronting the silence where meaning used to live. That's nihilism. That's the shadow of God's death stretching across our civilization. But here's where Nietzsche gets really dangerous, really revolutionary. He didn't stop at diagnosing the problem. He threw down the ultimate challenge to humanity. He said, if God is dead, if the old certainties are gone, then the question isn't what do we believe now, or how do we get back to the good old days? The question is, what will you create? This is where his idea of the Übermensch, often mistranslated as Superman, but really meaning higher man or overman, comes in. This isn't some Nazi fantasy or comic book hero. The Übermensch is a human being who doesn't collapse when old values crumble. Instead, he rises. He creates his own values. He forges his own meaning. He doesn't borrow morality from ancient texts or modern gurus. He doesn't wait for a priest, politician, or self-help influencer to tell him what matters. He takes the raw clay of existence and sculpts meaning through strength, creativity, and the courage to stand alone if necessary. Think about the difference. Most people, when faced with uncertainty, immediately look for someone to follow. They join movements, adopt ideologies, surrender their thinking to charismatic leaders. They're terrified of the responsibility that comes with real freedom. But the Übermensch sees opportunity where others see chaos. Where the crowd sees a crisis, he sees clay waiting to be shaped. Life becomes his art project. Let me make this concrete with scenarios you actually face. Scenario 1. You lose your job unexpectedly. The herd morality, what Nietzsche called the slave mindset of the masses, says, despair, complain, blame the economy, blame your boss, play victim, wait for someone to save you. The Übermensch approach, see it as liberation. This isn't a setback, it's life forcing you to evolve. Maybe that job was slowly killing your soul anyway. Now you have the chance to create something new, to define success on your own terms instead of accepting someone else's definition. Scenario 2. You discover your romantic partner has been lying to you, maybe even cheating. Her morality says, stay bitter, play victim, let the betrayal define you, carry resentment like a badge of honor. Nietzsche's path, transform the pain into power. Use the experience to forge stronger personal values about loyalty and honesty. Don't let someone else's weakness make you weak. Rise above their level and become the kind of person whose values are so strong that betraying them becomes unthinkable. Scenario 3. You're in your 20s or 30s, and everyone around you seems to have their life figured out while you feel lost. Social conditioning says, panic, compare yourself to others, follow the traditional path even if it doesn't fit you. The higher path, recognize that feeling lost in a world without preset meaning isn't a bug, it's a feature. You're actually free to create something original instead of copying someone else's blueprint. The confusion isn't weakness, it's the raw material of authentic self-creation. Now here's where it gets really uncomfortable, where Nietzsche's ideas become a mirror reflecting your own life back at you. He believed that most people aren't strong enough to handle God's death. They'd rather cling to comfortable illusions, easy answers, borrowed truths, and ready-made meaning systems than face the terrifying freedom of creating their own. That's why he said, God is dead, and we have killed him. It wasn't murder by evil people. It was suicide by comfort seekers who couldn't handle the weight of real freedom. So here's the question that might keep you up at night. What sacred cows are you still clinging to because you're too afraid to face the silence? What beliefs are you holding on to not because they're true, but because they're comfortable? What aspects of your life are you living on autopilot, following someone else's script instead of writing your own? Because God is dead isn't just about religion. It's about every lie you tell yourself to avoid responsibility. It's about every comfort zone you refuse to leave. It's about every time you choose safety over growth, certainty over adventure, conformity over authenticity. Maybe your God is the approval of others. Maybe it's the security of a paycheck from a job that slowly suffocates you. Maybe it's the illusion that happiness comes from external achievements or possessions. Maybe it's the belief that someone else, parents, society, government, gurus, should provide your life's meaning. Nietzsche's words force you to ask, if all these illusions collapse tomorrow, if you were stripped of all external validation and easy answers, would you be strong enough to create your own values? Or would you crumble along with them? Here's what makes Nietzsche's philosophy so challenging. He places the full weight of existence squarely on your shoulders. No cosmic parent figure watching over you. No predetermined destiny. No ultimate authority to defer to when choices get difficult. Just you, alone with your freedom, responsible for creating meaning in what could be a meaningless universe. Most people find this unbearably heavy. They want someone else to carry the load. They want to be told what to think, how to live, what to value. They want the comfort of absolute certainty, even if it means surrendering their autonomy. But Nietzsche saw this as humanity's greatest opportunity. For the first time in history, we have the chance to consciously evolve beyond our biological and cultural programming. We can become the first species that actively creates its own values instead of simply inheriting them. Here's the choice Nietzsche left you, and it's a choice you make every single day with every decision. You can be the last man, safe, small, comfortable, addicted to distractions, living someone else's definition of success, spiritually dead inside, but physically comfortable. Or you can be the Übermensch, dangerous in the sense that you think for yourself, creative in that you build meaning from nothing, fully alive because you've chosen to embrace both the beauty and terror of existence. The death of God isn't the end of meaning. It's the beginning of the most ambitious creative project in human history. The conscious creation of higher meaning by higher human beings. So here's your reality check. The hard truth Nietzsche would tell you if he were sitting across from you right now. Society is not going to hand you meaning. Your parents can't give you a purpose that fits. The education system won't teach you how to live authentically. The government won't solve your existential problems. Social media won't fill the void. No guru, no matter how charismatic, can do the inner work for you. No one is coming to save you from the fundamental challenge of human existence, creating a life worth living in a universe that doesn't automatically provide one. That's the weight Nietzsche saw. That's the burden he laid on your shoulders. And paradoxically, it's also the greatest opportunity of your life. Because when you truly accept that you're responsible for your own meaning, something incredible happens. You stop waiting. You stop looking outside yourself for validation. You stop living according to other people's definitions of success, happiness, or fulfillment. You start building. What does this look like practically? It means questioning everything you've inherited. Your career path, is it yours or your parents'? Your relationship patterns, are they conscious choices or unconscious repetitions? Your values, did you choose them or absorb them? It means developing what Nietzsche called intellectual honesty, the courage to see reality as it actually is, not as you wish it were or as others tell you it should be. It means embracing what he called amor fati, love of fate, which doesn't mean passive acceptance, but active engagement with whatever life throws at you, transforming every experience into fuel for your own growth. It means building your character like an artist builds a masterpiece, with intention, discipline, and a vision that extends beyond immediate gratification. Most importantly, it means accepting that you might be alone in this project. The Übermensch doesn't need the crowd's approval because he's learned to approve of himself based on his own values. He doesn't fear being misunderstood because he understands himself. So what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to stay numb, scrolling through other people's lives, living according to scripts written by marketers and influencers who profit from your compliance? Or are you going to rise, create, and become the kind of person whose values are so strong, so authentic, so deeply chosen that they outlive your physical existence? Because here's Nietzsche's ultimate insight. God is dead. The old certainties are gone. The easy answers have crumbled. But the question isn't whether this is good or bad news. The question is, what will you build in the sacred space that's been left empty? Will you fill it with borrowed meaning and secondhand values? Or will you have the courage to create something entirely your own? Something worthy of the unique human being you have the potential to become? Because Nietzsche's warning was never about celebrating destruction. It was about daring to build something higher, stronger, more beautiful when the old gods fall silent. And here's the secret he whispered to those brave enough to listen. The silence isn't empty. It's pregnant with infinite possibility. The death of one kind of meaning is the birth of 1,000 others. The only question is, are you alive enough to forge your own fire? If this ignited something in you, if you felt that spark of recognition, subscribe right now and hit that notification bell. Because this is just the beginning of our journey into Nietzsche's most dangerous ideas. Next week, I'll show you how what Nietzsche called slave morality secretly controls every aspect of your life. Your relationships, your career, even your own self-image, and exactly how to break free from it. This isn't theoretical philosophy. This is practical wisdom that will change how you see everything. Don't miss it. Your future self will thank you.